So $50 million is a lot of money. And he even was pleading with the judge and telling the judge, don't worry, I won't have any female visitors. I'll be good. I'll stay home. I'll be all on my own. I'm not going to tamper with any witnesses. But obviously, a judge is like, you're literally running, like, you're being charged with racketeering. You really expect me to believe that you're not going to be racketeering outside of this?
It's the Pop Report. So juicy.
Hola, chica.
What up?
You don't know Spanish, and I love it.
I'm learning. I got like an offer from Rosetta Stone, and I was like, yeah, I'll do this.
Call me when you have the Duolingo owl coming to your doorstep and educating you and teaching you how to say everything phonetically, and we'll talk.
Okay. You're...
Do people still use Rosetta Stone?
I got an offer for it, so I'm assuming.
Oh, you're being serious. They said, we know you're illiterate, but we'd love to work with you. What's new with you in the past? I have been in studio with you. This is our third day in a row of doing podcasting.
I know.
I can't make words.
Doing podcasting. This is your third. I do this daily. I do this all the time.
I know, but you get to control it on your own. I'm like with another being with you. I'm like, we're both in it. How are our feelings? How's our GI tract? Like, how are the whole things going? You just get to riff off by yourself and control your pacing all on your own.
Yeah. I mean, it's been...
I watch your live streams.
It's been quite a week. We've been taping so much.
I kind of like it because then I get like a day off next week with our fun guest we have for next week. So I'm just glad that it all worked out. But Mama needs a break. I'm staying in tonight. I went to an event last night for Dr. Odyssey.
Yes.
Right? Not like Space Odyssey, but there's a new Ryan Murphy show that is on Hulu, Fox Television, ABC, because he has an overall deal with them. And it's about a doctor who resides on a cruise ship. And it's like a medical type of thriller, but like obviously has romance, has like twists. They decked out this Bayside Country Club. I went with Lewis, lovely Lewis, who's been on the podcast, and we watched the first episode. I don't know if I'd watch more.
Was it not good?
I mean, okay, so it's Ryan Murphy, so like you expect some like gay things to happen. Yeah. I need it to happen in the first episode. Like the two leads, there's definitely tension, but I was like, kiss, like touch each other, like be sensual. And we were sitting there in the front. They put us in the very front row. Don't know why. And we were like, wow, like no gay shit. And the rep was like, oh, you'll see. And I was like, okay, well, we know it's coming on later, but like give me it in the first episode. Like, give me some sort of interaction. Like, there's a lead doctor and two secondary nurses. You know there's a love triangle, but like let the dudes do something. And I miss the American Horror Story days of like Coven, and like the politician was honestly like amazing. I think I love those Ryan Murphy installments. So yeah, I think it's good, but it's very different energy from what I'm used to. That makes sense.
Yes.
Like very, very ABC energy.
Which is not very Ryan Murphy.
Interesting. Yeah. But
that's
like what I did last night.
I mean, the view looked incredible.
The view is nuts. The popcorn was good. The Swedish fish were great. And I played a little bit of roulette. And every time the photographer went around, he would catch a photo of me eating. So I have so many photos that were sent to me of me shoving a hamburger in my mouth or another piece of food. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, the diversity card, I get it, but like, we get it. I love the food. I always love the food, but like, why didn't you catch a photo of me eating all the time? I don't know. Well, in other news, let's start out with our top story of the podcast. And I think, again, like, podcasts have their moments. They do great coverage. I think we did great coverage of the indictment of Diddy. We now have new updates that have been continuously coming up day after day of what's going to happen to Diddy until trial.
So he is locked up and they're not letting him out. So he's been denied bail twice. He had a hearing, I believe, on Tuesday and then another hearing on Wednesday. And both times they did not grant him bail. And these are two different judges now that have said, nope,
Oh,
sorry. He offered $50 million.
now the thing is, going back to, not to bring Erica Jane into this, where has that money been? Where is what does that money touch?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, where is that money coming from? Is that from freak offs? Is it from like,
I don't think
where
he
are they
makes
getting the
money
money?
off of freak offs.
I don't know. We're still learning.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he charged admission for I don't know. Anyway.
So $50 million is a lot of money. And he even was pleading with the judge and telling the judge, don't worry, I won't have any female visitors. I'll be good. I'll stay home. I'll be all on my own. I'm not going to tamper with any witnesses. But obviously, a judge is like, you're literally running, like, you're being charged with racketeering. You really expect me to believe that you're not going to be racketeering outside of this?
Yeah, I mean, not to be confused with tennis rackets and that sort of nature, but
Yeah.
it is interesting to even have Diddy, who has worked with many people on the inside at hotels in specific businesses, get away with things. And a lot of people had conspiracy theories of, will he be working with some sort of representatives
Yeah.
to get off with a lesser sentence of some sort, because he is so able to coerce people
Yeah.
and money, fame, power. But even a judge is like, not one, but two, but saying 50 million, no, like that could pay for some bridges, some taxes and stuff, but like,
And so, as of right now, they have one witness that's going to be testifying against him, and they have others that they're talking to that are expected to testify against him at trial as well. So it seems like people are starting to turn. I think that he's probably going to try to, as you said, work out some sort of deal. But I think rather than like trying to pay anybody off, because I think he's beyond that point, what he's going to do is start flipping on the other people that I'm sure he's connected to. I'm sure he's not the only powerful person in Hollywood that's involved in all of this. And so I think the expectation is that he's going to bring down some of the other head honchos, similar to like the way I think people expected Jeffrey Epstein to. And unfortunately, he got whacked before he had a chance to out anybody. So either Diddy's going to start rapping like a canary, or he's gonna get whacked.
rapping, I thought she sang. Anyway, tried to flip that one, but it's, yeah, interesting. He might try to rat out a bunch of people. I don't think personally we will see Cassie too involved because they did have a settlement. So it is unclear what's going to unfold unless new evidence does come to light involving Cassie or other new parties that has not been disclosed to the public. So that being said, when people do go public with certain information, the cases, whether it's in murders or whether it's in cases like this, if you go public with that information and that is in public knowledge, they can use that in the defense. So if certain people are not given this information, the defense will have a hard time combating whatever is brought against them. So that being said, there's probably a lot that we still do not know, but they're allowing some pieces of information to be brought to the public. And whether this is a recorded court or not, I believe probably this will not be a recorded trial. We've obviously seen a lot of spectacle cases with like the Johnny Depp cases and more, but I don't think this is one that's going to be cameras allowed in the courtroom.
I hope. Well, no, probably because of the graphic nature of
Right.
of what he's being accused of. That's probably why they wouldn't allow cameras in the courtroom. I wish they did though. Like I want to watch it the way I
I mean, it's
watched
interesting.
the Gwyneth Paltrow trial and the Johnny Depp trial. It's crazy how
I don't know. I don't know what like jurisdictates to what is allowable for cameras or not. You have crime and you look at OJ and more, like you have graphic evidence of crime scenes. And so like when we do talk about recorded court TV happenings, there are pieces of evidence presented on screen, whether it's blood and more. We don't know what they may present in this. So there still is a chance they might just say, like we're going to the public with this. but we don't know how graphic this may be.
I mean, I hope so. I want to know all the details. I listen. I loved the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. I loved the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. The Gwyneth Paltrow one was funny because that dude was delusional. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp one was wild. I mean, and to be fair, we did get some pretty graphic details from that trial that I'm sure we may possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and honestly, the thing is, people don't want to deal with what the quote unquote geriatrics are, like with people putting on a spectacle.
Yeah.
So if there are cameras, people wonder if they'll pander to it. Unclear. We will keep everybody updated as that trial comes to a closer date.
We shall see. But as of right now, he's reigning behind bars.
Speaking of bars, let's move on to music.
So who's hitting bars? Nelly Furtado?
Oh my God, Miss Nelly. Now, I was talking to a mutual of ours about the new Nelly album. And when we talk about the new Nelly Furtado album, she obviously came out of retirement to produce this. Her daughter was like, "You're going viral on TikTok." Da 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 da. She has a lot of other people releasing music that day. So we have Katy Perry's album coming out. We have quite a bit of singles that are hitting the market. But basically, like, we're looking at overall this pop phenomenon of someone like Nelly Furtado, and there's not really been a lot, in my personal opinion, of pickup or coverage when it comes to her new album. So she did have a resurgence with Dom Dalla putting out a single, and that was very big in the EDM scene. She's actually reuniting with him for her album titled Seven, called Ready for Myself, which is coming out as well as a single. So other singles coming out that are releasing this week include Spot a Fake for Ava Max. We have No Comma by Slater. People have been wanting more Slater stuff. We have a Grime song, which is Supernova, the remix. And yeah, as far as albums, we have In Waves by Jamie XX, 7 Nelly Furtado, 143 Katy Perry, High, Keith Urban, and others. So, but Miss Kylie Minogue also announced she's releasing new music.
Wow.
Did you see that one coming?
No.
Tension to the album is coming. So people were obviously into Miss Padam Padam, her resurgence. She put out a single with the Blessed Madonna as of late, which is a bop. If you ever need music recommendations, let me know. I'll get you covered. But yeah, she has the entirety of the track listing coming out. Like, it is on a couple different places of the, what is it? Let's see, 13 songs. Some of them were even pre-released, like Edge of Saturday Night with Blessed Madonna has already been out. My Oh My is another one that's already been out. Midnight Ride been out. Dance Alone with Sia already out. So none of these are other collaborations, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 9 songs that we're getting from her. So
Okay. New
yeah,
music coming. And well, it's also like, don't you have to get your music out by like October? Like, this is the time to start putting the music out if you want to be up for nominations next year.
yeah, it's certain deadlines and more. So it is the year of the girls, in my opinion. Like, we have Sabrina Carpenter, we've had The Chapel, we've had like Charlie, like we've had Kylie, we've had Katie. Like,
Yeah.
we are just seeing an arc phenomenon of women putting out a lot of different music, but the men need to keep up. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. What was the last? Like, I mean, I guess that was like Eminem, but like his album wasn't even that good.
It went number 1.
Did it? Oh, that's right.
I
It beat
think.
Taylor. That's
Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah. So
I mean, but just because
again,
an album charts well doesn't mean it's actually good.
you know, we had that debate before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know who is
But
good?
who?
Sia. She's got a beautiful voice. I love it.
Oh my God. Yeah, Sia being on the Kylie stuff, great. But Sia's also, she is, I don't know if you ever kept up with Sia. She does random acts of kindness where she'll pay different people's groceries. Like, I remember this viral video of hers that came up of like a bunch of people behind her. She's like, I'm paying their bill. I'm paying their bill. And so she just enjoys the relaxed lifestyle she has. Obviously, she's made opportunity with like writing her own music, but she's not as recognizable because of the wigs and more. She's like, I don't want fame. Like, if you don't want fame, you have a way to definitely protect yourself. And I think Sia is that example when
See?
people look at, I
Chapel
want to be on the
Roan.
limelight. J-Lo.
Yeah, J-Lo. Well, J-Lo likes the
So
attention.
I think we all do. But
Except
when
Chapel
it comes
Roan.
down to when it comes down to things, basically, Sia was resurfacing in weird ways over the years when it comes to her singing. So she sang at a dining room table for Kathy Griffin at a party like a few years ago. Now all of a sudden, there is a video of her at a Kathy Griffin show just getting up and singing. And like, it's always Chandelier, and she is just belting this shit out. So I saw this on Pop Crave first, and I was like, what in the Sia? But everyone was just watching this video, and they're like, she's singing Diamonds and Chandelier from the crowd at Kathy Griffin's show, and everyone just turns around and they're like, what's going on? Like,
So random too. Like at a Kathy Griffin comedy show to have like Sia as like, what was it, an opening act or some sort of, yeah, it had to have been an opening act.
don't know her.
Ugh.
Don't know why she did it. Don't know how it happened. We don't have many
I feel
details
like they're
yet.
friends, aren't they?
They are friends. They've had like a good time. I know Kathy Griffin has really like loved Sia overall. Like a lot of people are Sia fans.
Yeah. Well, Kathy Griffin and Sia may be friends, but you know who is not friends?
Who?
Zach Bryan and Taylor Swift.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Zach, Peter, and Taylor Swift.
No, they are sort of beefing. The Swifties are coming for Zach Bryan, which, by the way, I've actually become a recent fan of Zach Bryan. I've been enjoying his music lately.
Okay.
But he, I guess, is active on Twitter. Decided to get a little litty city one night. I can relate. And decided that he was going to put out a tweet where he said, Eagles are better than Chiefs and Kanye's better than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, like a little greater than. Which, go on, continue.
Tweets that. Next thing you know it, Swifties start coming for him, and the internet is lighting him up on fire. And obviously, you don't mess with the Swifties the same way you don't mess with like the Beehive, right? And so he, I guess, didn't like the heat, so he ends up deleting and deactivating his Twitter account altogether, or his X account altogether. And he's now come out issuing an apology, saying that he got a little lit, but you know that's all it was. He was drunkenly tweeting. He said he wasn't coming
Put
for
the phone
Taylor
down.
Swift.
It's like I say to you, put the damn phone down.
Yeah.
Go touch grass, as Katie says.
Touch grass.
Don't be unsocial. Not everything needs to be shared. Next time you take that little mirror photo, think again. Be like, does the world need to see my backside again? Does the world need to hear my thoughts about me comparing people? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say something else. But
he's saying that he was referring to their music. He prefers Kanye's music over to Taylor's music.
But if you put
Yeah.
the Chiefs and the Eagles next to it, that is just like too close of a situation to be like, well, you know, Taylor's boyfriend is on the Chiefs. Eagles better. Like, it just came off as a very anti-Taylor tweet, very much overall.
Yeah.
Like, group package deal, buy one, get one, Travis Taylor. So I see the damage control, at least of like what as an outsider it seems like. But like, really, we're still being like, Kanye's amazing. I'm like, Kanye's done some messed up stuff.
It was just funny that like that's what you're gonna tweet with, like, and also like, you know, he just like was just like being dumb, and he had no idea that this tweet was gonna go so viral. So much so that I'm sure he's not even the one that deleted his account. I'm sure his team took it down or made him delete it, and now he's just like, oops, sorry guys, JK.
Just kidding. I'm actually a real fan of Travis
Tortured
Taylor.
poets.
I'm tortured thinking about the repercussions this man is about to get, but he should probably think next time he gets a little drunk and goes on Twitter.
Yeah,
That's my
helpful.
opinion.
Oh my God, baby cakes. What do you think they should do if they love listening to this?
Well, we have lots more tea to spill, but you should hit the subscribe button right now so that you're always up to date.
And if you're listening somewhere else, leave a review, drop a comment. I don't know.
Hit the like button.
Shit talk on Zach.
I like all the likes. I'm still a millennial and I love that validation.
Back to the good stuff.
You know, just little things. And just if you're going on Twitter, go to Threads. That's all I'm saying.
Shall we move into watch or skip?
We shall.
What do we have?
Sabrina Carpenter. I know we talked about music, but she is hosting a Christmas special for Netflix. And this special was announced on September 19th. And basically, it's called A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter. She, or at least Netflix, captioned the post, "This is really going to jingle your bells." So it is her first ever holiday special. It features duets. It's going to feature comedic guests. And it's going to be December 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And she really just had like a fun, quirky like way to grab everyone in the clip where she just appears on screen and she's like, "Were you expecting someone else? Like maybe a Mariah or something of the sort." People were like, you know, obviously wondering. But I think this makes sense for her. I think really people want to get to know Sabrina a little more because she's had a really explosive year. So she's been obviously 10 years in the making. She has been part of like Girl Meets World. She had a couple good bops like through the 2010s. But I think this has really been her year. And now she should start getting these other opportunities outside of music to just continue longevity.
I agree. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I've become such a fan lately. Love her nonsense song. Love all the little riffs that she's been doing on tour with the nonsense song. Like, I've become a true Sabrina Carpenter fan. So I'm very excited about this Christmas special.
Yeah, it's being deemed as a holiday variety show, which I'll definitely watch. It should definitely be interesting because she obviously acted, so like you don't know if there's gonna be like little sketches and more.
For sure.
She's also only 25.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like she's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" When she won the VMA, like she and Christina Aguilera, my mistake, are also working on stuff together as well. So this is, I think, the continued longevity. It's not just a, "Oh my God, espresso taste, like little skip, like one hit wonder of the year." It's like she's going to keep going. People are going to watch what she does next.
I agree. I think she's going to have a big
I will
career.
watch.
More Sabrina Carpenter is let's do one at like the Luke Bryan. Sabrina Carpenter greater than Chaperone.
Carpenter. Oh God, stop that. Leave that alone. In other news, we have a new season of Black Mirror coming out.
Ooh.
Now, do you think I'm a fan of Black Mirror?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of easy to tell. I love like realistic crime and more like hypothetical situations.
You do.
But like in my situation of watching previous Black Mirrors, there's been so much sci-fi like what ifs, and it kind of has lost me in a bit of a haze of like, okay, we're getting paranormal or we're getting like very what was that chapter book? Not Goosebumps, like adjacent sometimes. Yeah. So this new season has been announced. I hope they kind of go into a direction of the past where they've had like hypotheticals of if you had reviews of certain stars, you're entitled to certain things in life. Like you're a 3.7 rating, I'm a 5. Like I can be entitled to 5-star opportunities.
Yeah.
But there is a whole new cast lineup that has been announced. So I will read off some of these names for season 7. But we have Aquafina, Peter Capaldi, Emma Corrin, Patsy Farron, Paul Giamatti, Lewis Gribben. This list goes on and on and on. I can say so many. Issa Rae, Paul G. Raymond, Tracy Ellis Ross, Harriet Walter, and so many more. I don't want to go through this whole list because it's just so big, but they got a lot of good people for this entire cast lineup. But did you watch a lot of Black Mirror, like in the beginning? Because it was a BBC show at first.
Yes, I did watch some of the earlier episodes, and then I really liked the Miley Cyrus one.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was it? She had a name, and she had the song "Hey, I'm a Ho."
Ashley O.
Ashley O. I liked Ashley O. That would.
Hey, I'm a
I think that's the
hoe.
last Black Mirror episode that I watched, though.
I think that was a great tie-in. So Netflix bought the rights for Black Mirror, as many recall. But basically, Charlie Brooker dropped on Netflix in June 2023 after a 4-year hiatus, like the last season. So the I think like delay between seasons has really kept people interested. They want to see like more hypothetical wild things, but I think they also needed to take a break or it was canceled. Don't quote me directly on this, but because it freaked people out,
Yeah.
they were like, we can't do this. Like this is creating stress. But I think when people saw the demand, of other entities and more, we got more installments. So we had like Salma Hayek, we had like Annie Murphy.
Oh, I remember. That's the last one I saw.
Yeah. So we had a lot of great ones. People obviously referenced the Miley Cyrus episode. But yeah, it first premiered in 2011 on the Channel 4 in the UK. And it was purchased ahead of the third season in 2016 by Netflix. But yeah, it garnered 14 Emmy nominations and took home 8. So it's not just it's a cute show. It's like it's done pretty well for the concepts and the execution, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed the seasons that I did. Some of them were a little dark though. Like that's what I agree, and that's why I couldn't
Yeah.
watch all of them because like some of them were like really dark and also really realistic. That I was like, ugh. And I don't like the murder shit.
You remember the episode? I don't know if you saw this one where you'd match with someone, it would tell you how long you're with them. And so
Oh yeah,
let's say like the partnership was someone you really liked and you open your card and they're like, we give you 3 weeks. And then you get like a new partner and you can't stand them and it says like 5 years. And you're like, I love this other person. This isn't fair. Like I just don't understand.
yeah,
So it just made you really have some like deep dark thoughts at times.
yeah. Well, I look forward to a new season. Maybe I'll
But I'll
dip
watch.
in.
I'm gonna dip my toes in. In other news, we saw SNL has announced their new host and musical guest lineup.
Who?
So to quickly summarize, it is the 50th season on NBC. Gene Smart will be the host season premiere on September 28th. Michael Keaton and Billie Eilish on October 19th. After a week break, John Mulaney on November 2nd with Chappell Roan. Ariana Grande as her second appearance as host, and Michael Keaton as his fourth, and Mulaney as his sixth.
Wow.
So pretty nice lineup. And for Gene Smart's musical guest, we have Jelly Roll. So
I thought he died.
no,
Jelly Bean.
no.
Someone died.
On October 5th, we're also getting Nate Bargatze with his second time hosting, and then we get Coldplay as a musical guest. So it is a grab bag. I'm excited to see Gene Smart. I think it really does jurisdictate whoever the host is for some of these sketches, and then obviously we have the cast and like whatever the cast can bring. But it's the 50th, and we obviously have election. We have a lot of different things going on. SNL probably will be in your face, like,
Yeah.
hardcore because of the maybe guests they bring in for election coverage and more. But this is where they really have the biggest ratings.
Yes. The election years are always great for SNL. And I do want to say Jelly Bean did die in July.
Jelly Bean?
Yes.
Who's Jelly Bean?
Lamar Odom's dad?
Oh, well, I was like, this is Jelly Roll.
Yes. I always get the two of them confused.
I watched your live stream one time and you were very confused as well.
About Bean and Jelly Roll.
Which one was which? Yeah. You're like, didn't he die? And everyone's like, no.
I mean, they're all if the father. Oh no, he was Kobe Bryant's dad, not Lamar Odom. Big difference. Kobe Bryant and Lamar Odom. Big
Okay.
difference. Kobe Bryant's dad died. His name was Jelly Bean.
Got it.
Jelly Roll is the guy that performs music.
Correct.
Yes.
With the
And
tattoos.
the beard.
And he's very nice. Yes. Last but not least in our watch or skip, we have a biopic for Queen Latifah.
We need one.
I didn't think this one was going to be something that was going to be made, but her and her Flavor Unit Entertainment partner Shaquem Compere will produce the forthcoming movie with Westbrook Studios and Jesse Collins Entertainment. Um, I'm interested to see because I don't really know too much about Queen Latifah.
Now
I
you're
know,
about
like,
to.
obviously, like, I'm about to. I kept up with a lot of the movies she's been in, but like, there's obviously her music history and more. Um, Definitely interested to see. I will give it a consideration. A notable
When
honoree.
does Ellen's special come out?
You know what?
Because I saw something about that today. Her Netflix special is coming out, and she said that she should have.
September 24th.
Oh, so that's next week? Yeah.
Hmm.
So we can. Are you going to watch it or are you going to skip it?
I'll watch the first 10 minutes and I'll make a decision.
Well, there's already been a report that she opens it with saying, because you know how her tagline on Ellen was be kind to one another, right?
Right.
Well, she says that instead of saying being kind to one another, she should have said, go fuck yourselves.
Honestly, that should have been yours.
Well, I feel like I say that with just my
You say it in your head.
yeah.
Well, moving on to our other topics to round out this episode, we have some other general news to get to.
Yes, we do. So obviously, what was it, last week or the week before, that Dave Grohl was like all in the headlines because he was talking about how he had a child out of his marriage and he was married to his wife for decades, and the next thing you know, he had an oopsie whoopsie baby, and now he's trying to earn the trust back of his wife and his family and his kids by, honoring the fact that he's a father of this new baby and still trying to. It's unclear whether or not he's trying to save his marriage. I would assume he would want to save his marriage, but I don't think his wife wants anything to do with him at this point, which, granted, you literally cheated on her and had an entire baby with somebody else. But now his ex, her name is Carrie Werner, and they dated back in the 90s. She's now come out, and she's basically saying that there were always cheating rumors, and he was always a philanderer, and that while he was dating her, Carrie, he had a girlfriend at the time and the girlfriend didn't know about Carrie. So she's like, he's always been a cheater, and she wasn't surprised that he had a love child.
I will abstain from this conversation because this does not sound like it's leading on a good path down based on the previous track record of accusations.
I just think it's like, you're literally some ex from the 90s, and now you're going to come out and be like, well, he's always been a cheater. It's like, I don't know.
Well, they want to know.
Well, we know he's always been a cheater. Like, he's a rock star. Like, there's always been rumblings about him. The fact that his ex-girlfriend from 30 years ago now wants to come out and be like, guess what, guys? He's always been this way. I'm like, now it's coming off a little thirsty.
My lips are pursed and they're kept shut on this matter.
Well,
I once had a flight with him. That's all I will say.
yeah.
He was in the first class cabin seat.
he was lovely.
I told this story before, but like, I don't know this man. I don't know this man like that. I don't know what he's going to get into, and I don't think it's going to get any better for him.
Well, he's definitely not well received by the public. Very similarly to, I don't know if you've been keeping up with Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
No, but you've educated me.
Well, one of the husbands, so everyone knows about Jen Affleck, and Jen Affleck.
Let's talk about the husband.
Yes. So a lot of people so it was Jen Affleck's husband, Zack, and then it was Dakota's husband, Taylor's husband, Dakota. So Dakota and Zack were the two husbands on the show that everybody basically hated because they were terrible men. And so very notably, there was a trip that they took to Vegas where it was supposed to be a girls' trip, and only the girls were going on this trip. And then at the last minute, Zack and Dakota decide they're going to crash the girls' trip because they like Vegas too. And so Zack clearly has some sort of gambling addiction. And I believe his parents gave him like all this money to go to college, and he ended up gambling all of that away. So his life was being funded off of Jen, but he's also like very hardcore Mormon and very traditional Mormon of like, I'm the man, you're the woman, I do this, you do that. But everyone was like, well, that's rich that you want to stick to these traditional gender roles. Meanwhile, she's like paying for your entire life. Like, she's the breadwinner. And so
So is she rich?
Through TikTok, yes, she's making a lot of money.
Got it.
And
Okay.
so
Mom talk.
Through Mom Talk, yes. And so now he decided, she was like, my life and my job are here in Utah where I do mom talk. And he's just like, well, I want to go to school. And now she's going to have to pay for his school because she's the breadwinner. So he ends up taking her out of Utah and going to New York so that they can go and he can go to school and she can take care of him out there, even though she'd never wanted to leave Utah. She wanted to stay in Utah, but he's like, I'm the man, I'm your husband. You listen to me, woman. So audience did not like him at all.
Oh my gosh.
And
so they moved to New York?
yeah, so we see in the finale that they end up moving to New York. I don't believe they stayed in New
Spoiler.
York, though. I don't think they end up staying there. But so now a lot of people.
What kind of schools are you also going for? Hang on. Like, wait, I have questions now.
What is he going
Like,
to school?
like nursing? Like also, if your significant other said, I want to move and go to school,
What did he?
will you come with me? Or actually, I want you to stay
It
behind.
was medical school. Yeah, he's in medical school.
Okay.
And so that was his whole thing was it's like, well, if we go to medical school, then I'll be one day, eventually I'll be able to support us. And that's why you need to give up your life, your whole, entire life here in Utah so that I can, become whatever. And then they move to New York and then they don't even stay in New York and he doesn't end up going to medical school in New York. So anyway, long story short, he's one of the most hated husbands in the whole series.
God.
And so Jen then posted this whole like sweet husband post, which I'll read for you about him. And people are a little turned off by it because they already don't like him and they already feel like she's kind of being not brainwashed, but maybe like she's like in a bit of Stockholm syndrome because she doesn't know like how to leave him. And he clearly is just not a great guy. So Jen writes, Jen Affleck, because that's the only way you're allowed to refer to her is as Jen Affleck related to Ben Affleck. Because in her confessionals, everybody had their first name, and she was the only one that had her full name, Jen Affleck, written out the entire time. So they didn't want you to forget her last name was Affleck. Anyway, Jen Affleck says, when we were kids, we got married, young, naive, and inexperienced. We truly had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Coming from completely different backgrounds, families, and upbringings, it didn't seem to make sense. We were polar opposites. How could we make this work? How could we see the same picture? We didn't always see eye to eye, and a lot of times we still don't. But that's what marriage is. We keep trying. I truly believe there were lessons we both needed to teach each other. When we were dating, Zack bought me my first laptop when he had $10 in his bank account. Well, how did he afford that if he had $10 in his bank account?
Yeah. Credit card?
Maybe. Oh, well, that's rich. When I shared my dream of running a marathon, he trained alongside me and ran it with me. I told him I wanted to start a videography business, so he saved up money and bought me my first camera. So she's trying to show that she's not entirely funding all of his lifestyle. When we were expecting our first baby, I wanted a place to call home. So he worked hard, saved up, and bought us our first home. He gave me both stability and freedom, which allowed me to post videos online and launch my career on social media. This in turn allowed me to support him and our family while he's been in school. I couldn't have done it without Zack. Is Zack perfect? No. Does he have flaws that we've needed to address? Yes, but I can confidently say that he's always supported and believed in me more than anyone else. We're still young. We have two precious babies and we still have struggles like so many marriages, but do we love each other? Yes. Are we willing to put in the work to do better? Yes. Have there been moments when we wanted to walk away? Of course, but there's so much more to our marriage and what we offer to each other than people realize. Thank you to everyone who has shown us so much love and support, whether you know us personally or not. No matter what the world will say, I truly believe that God knows what's best for me, my family, and my marriage. And people are like,
I really thought you were talking about you and I until he's brought children. I was like, oh yeah, this is how I feel about you, Zack. You are a great man.
yeah, I bought you your first laptop with $10 in my bank account.
Oh my God, you shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have because you didn't have the money.
No. So I mean, wow. I don't know. The other girls in Mom Talk definitely seem to like rally around her and be like, you need to leave this guy. And she definitely has no interest in leaving this guy, as we can see from her Instagram post where she's praising him.
Praise God.
So I don't know if they'll go the distance, but like, look at some of the comments. Haley says, did he make you post this? B says, where is his public apology for how he treated you? Thalia says, was hoping this was a divorce post.
Oh my God.
Like people are really, he made you defend him to all of us, didn't he? Would you allow your daughter to go through the same relationship? Girl, stop. He literally said, I don't want to hear about your heart one more time. I mean, yeah. Cass says
I
you're
mean,
gaslighting yourself. Just because he's treated you well doesn't mean how he treats you on the show isn't toxic and manipulative. If that's how he treats you with cameras present, I fear for behind the scenes and what your children overhear. That's what's hard is when people bring the kids into it.
yeah, that is really difficult. I haven't watched anything, so I really don't know, but like the situation sounds not great.
He's a bit of a douche, for sure.
Got it. Okay, that's coming from you too. You're like,
Well, I mean, I also call the guys in your life douches sometimes.
look at us.
Growth.
Who would have thought? Me, you.
Polar opposites.
Well, I think that's it for this episode. Wow, we blazed through quite a bit.
Yes, we did.
I mean, obviously, if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Obviously, tell Zach how amazing he is in the reviews because the reviews help us stay afloat into the charts. So we haven't been in the charts in a minute. It'd be nice to go back in the charts and just see. But yeah, the more reviews everyone leaves, thank you so much. Obviously helps us know what is going well, what we need to improve on, who you want us to have on next, because our next guest is very interesting. Yes. But Zachary, anything else?
Subscribe. Leave us reviews because we love the reviews. They really help the show. I mean, listen, if you want a free way to support the show, subscribing, liking, and leaving reviews, very easy, very minimal time. So if you want to support us and, keep the show going strong, show us some love and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Pop Report.
And you should probably hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode.
If you didn't at this point, I don't know what the hell you're doing. But if you want to keep
wasting time.
You know that's true. If you want to keep up with more, obviously follow us along, find more on our playlists, and listen wherever. Leave a review. Do the damn thing.
All the things, all the engagement. We love you, so show us some love.
We don't.